then if we're all set, let's just spend a few moments really tuning into our seat. So we got to be in our space, right? So back from the future, forward from the past, onto our mats, into our bodies. And I've seen a lot of you do your thing, but if you need to roll or shift or wiggle a little bit, do that now. We want to be grounded, right? Whatever that means for you, right? And it's not just physical, right? It's energetic. It's mental, like we need to be in the body and be present. And then grounded in our emotions as well, so in our heart, so a few moments to check in there. How's the heart doing? You don't have to change it, you don't have to affect it, you just have to honor it and allow it. Maybe just feel it for a few moments. So grounded, balanced, right? So maybe slide side to side or front, forward and back to find center. And then as we're pressing down, as we're releasing down into the earth and really getting grounded physically, we're also lifting up. So there's a lengthening and energizing up through the spine, right? And that's an effort to lift the ribs off the hips and lengthen the waist and create space in the lower back and engagement around the spine to support that. And we keep that going right up through the spine. Right? Think about the back body, lift the back body first maybe, the upper back lifts, the back of the head lifts, which should draw the chin in and down slightly, and then match that with a lift of the front body. Lift the chest, trying to keep the front ribs gathered. So pressing down, lengthening straight up, broad through the shoulder girdle, hands land somewhere supportive. Knees, thighs, lap. And then by all means, let that all go. Right? Give another little shake, another little shimmy, a little wiggle, and then reset it again and again and again. Right? Keep coming back to the foundation, to ground, to those center lines and the energy straight up through them. And then to anchor ourselves in these moments, we turn to the breathing. Turn to the breathing. And at first, they can just be big. Just encourage them to be maybe a bit bigger, a bit longer, a bit broader, a bit deeper. And just play with the expansion as you inhale. And then see how close to empty you can get. When it's time to exhale, spiraling inwards and down, just a little bit of encouragement. I really liked when Ramaswamy Srivatsa told us to babysit the breath. You're just there to take care of it, to encourage it, to keep it safe, to guide it maybe a little bit. There doesn't have to be force. There's no pushing, there's no pulling, there's no straining. Right? Just loving, compassionate encouragement. And you let all that stuff mix together. The physical awareness, the energetic awareness, the mental, the emotional awareness, awareness of breath, and then just sort of stir all that stuff up in these moments and observe, right? We make the efforts. We make the efforts, it's the tapas, the discipline of our practice, and then we observe the svadhyaya, the self-study. And we just keep mixing it all back in. Feel what you feel, hear what you hear. Allow your environment to be acknowledged. Let it wash over you. I hear the birds, I hear the rain. Just keep coming back. deep roots, energetic spine, ease and relaxation in the face, depth, fullness, encouragement in the breath. Just coming up against, or coming up to, or stepping into eventually, what is for you now. And just keep breathing, encouraging the breath deeper, reaffirming the seat when you need to, ensuring the length and lift up through the spine. Again and again and again, coming back to the breath. So a lot of you join me on my, or maybe our journey through the untethered soul. As with a lot of the books I read, I never finished those last few chapters. And I've gone back to it a couple times now. And there's a whole, I think, second to last chapter, and a podcast of Charles Eisenstein that I listened to towards the end of the last week. And they're all talking about fear. Take two different approaches. Maybe in our email this week, I'll send out the podcast and maybe highlight the passages from the book. Because I take a couple different approaches to it. But what Charles was saying was that fear can be a good thing. We run from it, we fight our fears, when they should really be listened to and honored. They provide guidance. Our fear is really important. It's kept us, as a species, alive for maybe millions of years. And then what Mickey Singer was talking about in Untethered Soul is how those initial encounters with fear of the unknown, those first experiences of separation, really created our psyche, our personality, our stories, and our way of being in the world. And all those things were designed, and we created them and built them to insulate us from those fears, from that specific fear of separation. Both of these great teachers were pointing back to our fear, telling us to approach them, to step into them, to listen to them, to work with them in positive ways. And I think these days there's maybe a heightened fear. So these skills and this approach to it might be of great benefit to all. Notice if your breathing changed. Come back to a deeper breath. Redo the foundation, deep roots. Lift the spine again, open the chest, broaden the shoulders. Whatever arises for you when we dive into this subject, notice it. Meet it with equanimity, with compassion, with inquiry, with curiosity. And with discipline, stay with it, keep breathing. Any practices that help us look at and work with and heal or resolve or release these structures that we've created to insulate us from fear, I'm all for. Yoga, these practices of yoga are perfect for this. strengthen and heal and observe, inquire, release and heal, and understand and integrate. All this stuff that we identify as us, when really all they are transient, constantly changing phenomena that ultimately aren't even real. And that we're using to avoid that ultimate reality. Who we are, what we are. I don't just mean you. When I say we, it's capital We, capital W. Us. The nature of reality. That's what I'm working with. Maybe you want to bring your hands together, your thumbs to the center of your chest. And by all means, if something I offered stirred you, or struck you, or triggered something, or inspired you, then run with it. If you're here for something else, make that clear now. Why are you here? You want to have purpose. Be here on purpose, with purpose. Whatever it is, you can set it as intention and or turn to the God of your own understanding and frame it as prayer. We're in good company. We call it satsang. You can turn to these fears. Still breathe. Do the work. We got you. And like this, we'll walk each other home. Yeah. We'll continue with the sound of 3 hOMes. You just let mine wash over you. You can join me where you are. Exhale completely here. Go all the way to empty. We'll take a unified breath. So a full breath in together. Pause at the top. And a complete smooth breath all the way out together. All the way to the bottom. If you're inclined, when you're ready, 3 hOMes. Inhale. You stay like this as long as you need. You come back anytime you like. When you're ready, maybe a few more moments here just to ensure that that Ujjayi breath is on. Right? Regulate the breath with the back of the throat. The abdomen's encouraging the diaphragm to draw down and dome up. The lungs are filling completely and we're pausing at the top. And then we're working to go all the way to empty every time. Abdomen in, diaphragm up, squeeze the breath out. Touch the bottom and be there. Perfect. Then just go back and forth a few more rounds. When you're ready, whatever you need to do to get onto your hands and knees, and it might be a child's pose for a little bit, right? Or a quick bathroom break, right? But then come to your hands and knees, right? And take a few moments to check in. Circle around the wrists, right? Bend and straighten the arms, roll the shoulders. If you want to slide into a child's pose for a handful of breaths, do that. And just noting what's going on in the wrists. Are they good? The elbows, are they clear? The shoulders, they feel all right? The neck, what's going on there? Right? And then to the spine, that cat-cow kind of movement. Maybe up and down with the breath. As you inhale, open the chest, arch the spine, look up. And as you exhale, push the floor away to arch the spine towards the ceiling, drop the head, go to empty. Then back and forth a few times. Right? Maybe ribs side to side a little bit. Right? You even circle the ribs around, circle them one way, circle them the other, right? And then shift it back and forth a little bit. There you go. Then when you're ready, we're moving towards a downward facing dog, right? If the messaging from the wrist or the shoulder or the breath is saying that you're not for down dog today, then maybe it's a child's pose. And if you want to start your practice in a headstand, right, by all means, right, set yourself up for a headstand and stay for 5 minutes. When you're ready, right, moving towards that downward facing dog. Perfect. Setting the hands, so take a moment to look to them. Maybe spread the fingers wider, play with that. The inner hand is pressing, the arms are gripped and strong and straight. You're pushing the front of the mat away from you. Getting the hips higher, further away from the wrists. Maybe bend the knees a little bit. How far from the front of the mat can you get with the hips? Pushing it away from you. There you go. And if you haven't already, if you need to, then maybe you're working through the legs. You bend one, straighten the other. Right, whatever little dance you need to do. And if you don't need to do it, then skip it. Right? Go straight to strong energy in the legs. Grip the quadriceps, lift the kneecaps, stabilize that joint, press it back, and stretch the heels towards the floor. Beautiful. And breathing, breathing, breathing. Let the head go completely. Ipek, let your head go completely. There you go. Breathing. Beautiful. Exhale here, go all the way to empty. Take one more breath together, full breath in, lengthen. Complete breath out, empty. And then as you inhale, we're going to come forward to a high plank. Right? So shoulders over wrists, hips same height as shoulders. Maybe get longer, long enough that the heels are above the toe mounds. If this is ever too much for you, of course the knees can come down, but maybe you keep them up and just do the same kind of inquiry, circling around the wrists, rocking back and forth, arching, rounding the spine. Get strong here in the limbs, the arms and the legs, in the spine, in the core. Inhale, lengthen. And then as you exhale, we're going to go back, downward facing dog. So soften the knees, lift the hips, drop the head, down dog, empty. And then just you and your breath a few times. Inhale, wave forward. Right? Waking up the spine a little bit. And as you exhale, sliding back, downward facing dog. Right? 2 or 3 more times in your breath if it suits you. Right? Use the breath. Wait for the breath to initiate movement. Inhale forward. Wait for the exhale to slide you back. Beautiful. 1 or 2 more times like that. Right? Your practice, your inquiry, what do you need? It might look a little bit different than what Seth is doing. And that's appropriate. Maybe 1 more time. Right? Rippling forward and then waving back as you exhale. Beautiful. And this time, as you inhale and come forward to that high plank, we're going to exhale and lower all the way to the floor. So you drop the knees first if you need. With control, as you exhale, you land to the floor. And then just these waves into this back bend with a few breaths. As you inhale, lengthen, lift the front body, arch up and open. And as you exhale, wave back down. Right? Roll the shoulders back and down, Paul. Nice and easy in the jaw. Inhale, do that again. Lengthen, lift. Now, as always, I want you to do this in your breath. So you can lower as you exhale, and maybe the next time you exhale, you stay up and just shift a little bit or roll the shoulders. Then inhale, lift again or lift higher. And then one more time as you exhale, lower down. One more back bend. Inhale, lengthening all the way to full, all the way to your height. And this time as you exhale and release, push back to your knees, tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Beautiful. We're going to do that one more time, right? Inhale, come forward to a high plank. You always have the choice as you exhale to lower to the floor or you lower halfway to chaturanga. You wait for your inhale to lengthen, lift the front body. Don't rush this, right? Lift all the way up, fill up a little bit more, be there, and it's your exhale that slides you back, downward facing dog. Perfect. Just one breath here, full breath in. Inhale, lengthen. Complete breath out. All the way empty. Now on empty, look forward. As you inhale, step, walk, or scurry, top of the mat. And as you arrive, same inhale to lengthen forward. And as you exhale, fold. So same 2 or 3 breaths here to wave up and down. Use the inhale to strengthen the legs, lengthen the spine. And the exhale to fold. Right? Again like that, once or twice more. Into that halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold all the way back down. All right, one more time like that. Inhale to lengthen. And pause, make it sing. Exhale to release, go all the way to empty. Take a breath or two here if you need to shift or walk or swing or shake the head out. And then I want you to come to standing in your way. Right? You can roll up, you can walk the hands up, you can reach all the way up. Right? We're going to come to standing, to Tadasana, to mountain pose, to Samastitihi, to equal standing. Do the feet, get the legs, pelvis level, waist lifted, spine energized, straight up, broad, right? Engaged, focused, but at ease and calm. This is the way we want to approach our depths, the things we've been insulating ourselves from. We've got to go there. Right? Our journey is to that place. And when we land there, we want to be clear, peaceful, and powerful. So that's the work. Few rounds, Surya Namaskar A. Exhale completely. Go to empty. Modify as you need. As you inhale, circle the arms overhead, reach up, look up, stretch. And as you exhale, dive forward and fold. Beautiful. All the way to empty every time. Wait for the inhale to prepare, so lengthen forward. Weight into the hands, step or float back. And as you exhale, lower halfway or all the way. Perfect. Wait for your inhale, rise to meet it, lengthen, lift the front body. And it's your exhale that sends you back, downward facing dog. We're just going to take one breath here. A full breath in, lengthen. A complete breath out to empty. On empty, soften the knees, look forward as you inhale, travel, step or float. Top of the mat as you arrive, lengthen, same breath. As you exhale, fold all the way up and down. Wait for your inhale to rise. Heart forward, arms out, reach all the way overhead, stretch up, look up. And as you exhale, release the arms, stand tall. Keep the legs strong, the waist long, go to empty. Rebound as you inhale. Reach all the way up. And wait for the exhale and dive forward within it. Beautiful. Inhale to lengthen, prepare, set the hands, step or float, lower halfway or all the way. Front lengthening, back bending as you inhale. Your exhale slides you all the way back, downward facing dog. One breath here, full breath in. Complete breath out. On empty, soften, look forward as you inhale, travel. Step or float, top of the mat. Lengthen as you rise. Fold as you exhale. Inhale, rise. Reach out, reach up. Be there, strong legs, long spine. And as you exhale, stand tall. One more round just like that. Inhale. Dive forward as you exhale. Your breath, you wait for it. Inhale to lengthen. Set the hands, step or float. Lower halfway or all the way. Right? Your rhythm. Lengthen, lift as you inhale. And the exhale slides you all the way back, downward facing dog for one full breath. Deep breath in. Complete breath out. Soften the knees, look forward as you inhale, travel, step or float. Same breath, smooth that out, lengthen. Fold as you exhale. Inhale all the way to the top. Reach up, look up, stretch up. And as you exhale, stand tall. And just take a moment here, right? Notice the fidgeting, the distraction, and just come back to the feet, to the legs, to the spine, to the breath. Perfect. Might help for this next little bit if your feet are together, right? If you need them apart, that works too. Exhale completely here, go all the way to empty. As you inhale, lift the arms up. At the top, lace the fingers, turn the palms and press up. And as you exhale, bend your knees and sit down. Perfect. And we'll take a few breaths here to find our depth. So maybe it's a bit of a bounce. You can shift the weight back and forth, heels and toe mounds, side to side with the knees maybe, right? Squeezing them, sit a little bit deeper. Once you find your depth, right, lift the chest, right? Lift the navel, lift the chest. Perfect. Press through the palms. Exhale completely. And now just up and down a few times. Inhale, straighten the legs, press all the way up, stand tall. And as you exhale, sit again. Right? Keep exhaling, keep sitting, keep exhaling. We'll do that a couple more times. Inhale, stretch the legs, press the palms up, drop the head. And as you exhale, sit. Perfect. One more time like that, up and down. Exhale, sitting. Stay here this time. Stay in this seat. Knees squeezing, hips compact. Lift the navel, lift the heart. Stretch the arms. Exhale completely. Beautiful. Inhale, straighten the legs, press up, stretch. Exhale, dive forward, fold. Nice. Inhale, lengthen to prepare, set the hands. Step or float, lower halfway or all the way. You can skip these push-ups or add extra push-ups in if you like. The inhale is to lengthen. Exhale all the way back, downward facing dog. We'll get into the hips a little bit with the legs. We're going to inhale and lift the right leg up and back. And just take a couple breaths here. You can always skip this, or you can bend the knees and circle the leg around, or open the hips and stretch and reach for your neighbor and give them a little love tap maybe. Right? And then come back to center. Inhale, really lengthen, push the front of the mat away from you, reach that right leg, and as you exhale, it's knee to nose. So rocking forward, squeeze the knee in, tuck the chin in, and then up and back again. Inhale, press the front of the mat away, lengthen. Exhale, squeezing, rocking forward, rounding the spine in. One more time, up and back. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, squeeze again. This time, stay here for a breath. Inhale, puff up. Exhale, squeeze out. Look forward, step the right foot between the hands. Keep the back heel lifted as it is, so above the toe mounds. Hips squared, feet on train tracks, not a tightrope. When you're ready, an inhale up to this high lunge, or warrior one if you prefer. And if that left knee needs to come down, you can accommodate that, of course. Find your balance, right? Get square, get level, get lifted. Maybe fire that back leg up a little bit more and lunge deeper. Tail plugged, front ribs gathered, lift up. Now we're going to take our arms behind us maybe and lace the fingers together and just spend a few breaths rolling the shoulders and opening the chest and reaching the knuckles for the back heel, stretching the arms, breathing. You can challenge yourself by looking up, by arching back, by even closing the eyes if you like, right? Right? This is all optional. You do you. Yeah, challenge your balance. Come back in. Perfect. Nice. One more breath here. Inhale, lift and lengthen. And as you exhale, release the hands to the floor. Step back, either go straight to down dog or do your push-up. Yogi's choice every time. Right? We'll meet you there. Inhale, lengthen, lift. Exhale all the way back, downward facing dog. We'll just take one breath here. Resting anytime you need. Join us when you're ready. Exhale completely. And we'll do the other side. Left leg lifts up. Right? And again, the 2 or 3 breaths here to do what you need to do to inquire. Right? You can roll the knee around. You can open the hips and stretch the leg. You can skip it all together. There you go. Perfect. Come back to center. Push the front of the mat away from you. Really extend through the left leg. Inhale. And as you exhale, we're rocking forward to draw the knee in to squeeze the breath out. Follow your breath. Inhale, up and back. Exhale, squeezing in. Breath all the way out. One more time like that. Inhale, lengthen, be there. Exhale, squeeze. Stay here. Squeezed in. Inhale, puff up. Exhale, squeeze it all the way out. And then look forward. Step the left foot top of the mat. 3 steps if you need. Get your foundation, train tracks, squared hips. When you're ready, use an inhale to lift up. Stand up into that high lunge. Of course, the knee can come down. Warrior 1 if you prefer. Find your balance, your focus. Use your breath. Maybe take the arms in behind you. Again, lace your fingers together. Try putting the other fingers on top. It should feel weird. It messes with your mind, and that's good, right? Inhale, you're lengthening, lifting maybe, opening the chest, stretching the shoulders, extending through the knuckles for that back heel. Perfect. Any variations or modifications you need. Yeah. Exhale completely. One more full breath here. Inhale, opening up, stretching. And as you exhale, release the hands, top of the mat, step back, and go through your vinyasa, your cycle, your flow with your breath. We'll meet in a downward facing dog. 3 breaths there. You rest if you need. Get back to that deep rhythm. Go all the way to full. All the way to empty. Take one more breath here, maybe more if you need. Empty out. If you're resting, join us when you're ready. Soften the knees, look forward. As you inhale, step or float. As you arrive, lengthen. As you exhale, fold. We're going to stay in this forward fold for a while. So it can be really restorative. You can bend the knees a lot. You can separate the feet. You can hang out. Right? Any of those standing forward folds that you want to play with, you're welcome to. But maybe we again take the arms in behind us and lace the fingers together. Okay? Take the time here, really reaffirm the feet, right? Feel balance, let the head go. What I like to do from this place, with the feet maybe wider, is straighten the right leg and bend the left leg and let the hands fall over to the left, looking to the right. Maybe even looking up. And then come back through center. So straighten the left leg and then bend the right leg. Drop the hands over to the right and look to the left. And maybe just go back and forth a few times. Just a different stretch for the shoulders, into the hips and the legs a little bit differently. Maybe you come to the first side again and stay for a couple breaths, if that suits you. And if you did, go to the other side and stay for those couple breaths again. Perfect. So you play with any of that. When you're ready, back to center for a fold. Take a breath or two here. Maybe the hands are still behind you, reaching for the floor above your head. If you're there, maybe take the hands back to the floor. Right? And then in your way, we're going to come all the way up to standing. When you're ready, roll up, hands to hips, and flat back up, reach up. And then we'll meet Tadasana Samastitihi, top of the mat. Mountain pose, equal standing, deep full breath. You got it. Whatever it is, the only way is through it, into it. And whatever it is you need to heal or release or understand or work with, you've got to come up against it. You can't run. We can, we do. Maybe we don't. Maybe we just breathe. Feel what we feel. All right. From the top of the mat, we're going to take a big step with the right foot and face the side of the room, the side of the mat. Perfect. Nice wide stance. Left toes in slightly. We're going to point the right toes towards the end of the mat. And then we're going to lunge into the right leg. And this might take a little bit of bouncing, of coming out, coming back in, of looking at that right leg, right knee out to the right, looking at that left leg, it's straight and strong, playing with the hips so they're level, the spine so they're lifted and long. Yeah? And then we're going to add the arms in. Keep the chin in line with the sternum, so keep the gaze forward. Right? We're going to do more with the shoulders and the arms. We're going to exhale completely here, go all the way to empty. Now as you inhale, we're going to reach the arms up, maybe even look up, stretch up. And as we exhale, looking forward, drop the elbows, cactus the arms to shoulder height. As you inhale, bring the elbows and the forearms and the palms together. And as you exhale, straighten, extend the arms forward. Inhale, open the arms back to that warrior two shape. Exhale here, we're going to do that a couple more times. Inhale, reach up, look up, stretch up. And as you exhale, cactus the arms, drop the elbows. Inhale, forearms together in front of you, stretching the back. Exhale, extending the arms straight. Inhale, sweep the arms back, warrior two. Exhale here, one more time. Inhale, reach up, stretch up. Exhale, drop the elbows, cactus the arms. Inhale, elbows, palms together. Exhale, straighten the arms, extend them forward. Inhale, open the arms, warrior two. Exhale here. 2 breaths, full breath in. Complete breath in. 1 more, full breath in. Complete breath out. And as you inhale, straighten the right leg, release the arms, let them swing, maybe roll the shoulders, switch the feet. Right toes in, left toes out. Perfect. We're going to bend into the left leg. So setting up for the other side. And as deep as you go, the deeper you go into that left leg, the more you want to press outer edge right foot. Right leg is strong, hips are level, spine is lengthened, lifted. Breath is deep, roll the shoulders a couple times maybe. And we'll do the same pattern other side. Inhale, arms shoulder height. Exhale here. 3 times. Inhale, reach up, look up. Exhale, drop the elbows. Empty, inhale, bring it all together in front. Exhale, extend the arms forward. Inhale, sweep the arms. Exhale here. Twice more. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, drop the elbows, cactus the arms. Inhale, together in front of you. Be there. Exhale, straighten out, palms still together. Inhale, sweep open. Exhale here. 1 more time, nice and smooth. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Sweep open, inhale. Exhale here. Let's say 2 breaths. Full breath in. Complete breath out. 1 more. All the way empty. Beautiful. As you inhale, straighten the left leg, let the arms go. Try not to be too dramatic about it, but if you need to roll or shift, right? Turn the left toes in now. Keep the right toes turned in. Actually, turn the toes out. Right? I changed my mind. Heels in, toes out. Okay? And we're going to squat straight down. So bend into both legs and find this deep seat. Bring the hands to the top of the thighs, the top of the knees. Cecily did this the other day. I really like it. I don't often do it. Right? Maybe let the shoulders come up towards the ears a little bit. And then what we'll do is drop the right shoulder towards center and look to the left, maybe even look up. And then inhale, come back to center. And go the other way. Drop the left shoulder towards center, turning a bit to the right. Maybe do that again each side. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, go the other way. Drop the right shoulder in, turn left, and back to center. Inhale. Exhale the other way. Perfect. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale here. Now we inhale, straighten the legs, hands to hips. Heels in, toes out. Heels out, toes in, I should say. Legs are strong. We're again going to take the arms in behind us. Shoulders nice and open. Yeah. Feet planted, legs strong. Inhale, take a moment to lift the chest. Maybe even look up. And then an exhale to fold forward. I would encourage you to keep your thumbs, your hands to your lower back until you find this fold. Right? Find your depth. Widen the feet or readjust them, the ankles. Right? Get strong in the legs, long in the waist. And when you find a fold that's stable, balanced, now maybe we reach the knuckles for the ceiling before taking the arms overhead towards the floor. And you can play with this. Right? You can shift the shoulders a little bit. Right? Shake the head out, bend and straighten the legs. Right? And if your thumbs are still on your sacrum, that's cool. Right? You stay like that. One of my favorite yoga teachers, Richard Freeman, who you guys should all look up, once said that the stiff are blessed because they don't have as far to go to practice. Right? So you're going to meet your edge in your work a lot quicker. Just honor that wherever you are. Breathe there. We'll take 2 or 3 more breaths. Whatever you need this to look like. Another breath or 2. All right. You stay as long as you need. When you're ready, thumbs back to sacrum. Let the hands slide down to the floor. Lengthen, lift halfway. Heel toe the feet in until they're about as wide as the hips. Heels in, toes out, and we squat straight down. Okay? So we work to find a nice, deep, supported, stable squat. If the heels are off the floor, maybe put something underneath them. And maybe not. If the heels are off the floor, it's fine. Maybe just put your hands down to the floor for stability. If the knees don't close out completely, you can always sit couple yoga blocks, hopefully you've bought them, right? Or a few books or a cushion. You can stay rolled inside the legs, or maybe it's outer arms to inner knees, palms together, thumbs to heart. Cecily and the kids were talking about proprioception last week, awareness of your surroundings. One of my new favorite words is interoception, so awareness of your inner environment. This is what we're working on here. Feel the heartbeat, tune into the energy shifting. Emotions rolling, thoughts waving. It's just an awareness of it. We're doing the work to churn this stuff up, to work with this stuff, to move this stuff along, clear congestion. Putting all that effort in, all that tapas, and then we're just observing, studying it. Compassion with love. But always with an eye to go deeper, and then deeper still. Beyond our constructs, to who and what we truly are. You can stay longer. When you're ready, it's hands to the floor. Straighten the legs, turn the toes forward. Just hang out here for a moment. In your way, when you're ready, all the way back up to standing. And once you arrive and feel centered, we take a graceful step, top of the mat. Exhale completely here, go all the way to empty. Inhale, circle the arms overhead, reach up, look up, stretch. As you exhale, dive forward, fold. The inhale is to lengthen. You can skip the push-up and go straight to down dog, or step or float, lower halfway or all the way. Front lengthening, back bending, open up. We'll meet in downward facing dog. Exhale all the way back, down dog. Perfect. From here, we're going to look forward, and if you can, we're going to take the right foot outside the right hand. Right? If you can take that step right away, great. If you need to take 5 steps to get there, that's cool too. Maybe it comes to center and you heel toe the foot out to the right. Bringing the right arm or the hand inside the leg. Left knee comes down. And just pause here for a few breaths. A whole other angle at our hips. Feel what you feel. And if the way is clear, right, you can ride deeper. Get longer. Hands walk forward. Eventually the elbows land to the floor. Don't compromise breath or length in the spine. And if you want to fire that back leg up by tucking the left toes under and lifting the left knee, you can do that. Nice deep, long lizard lunge. There's arm balances here. There's binds that you can play with, right? If you have this stuff in your practice, please, by all means, go for it. Otherwise, just stay as you are. Breathe deep. Listen and feel. Hear what you hear. Feel what you feel. Beautiful sense. A couple more breaths here. Stay longer, nice and smooth, nice and graceful. When you're ready to come out, lift that back knee, plant the hands, step back, downward facing dog. If you want to come through that little cycle, forward, down, up and back, go for it. If you need child's pose or just stay in down dog. Meeting that downward facing dog, exhaling completely. Join us when you're ready. Other side, the left foot, if you can step all the way forward, outside the hand, great. If it needs to come through center and then you heel toe out to the left, do that. Left arm, left hand, inside, left leg, left knee. The right knee can come down. You can just hang out here and breathe here. Right? I get a whole lot of feedback. Right? At least a few answers to a couple of my questions right here. If the way is clear, maybe you get longer Right knee further back, hands walk forward, maybe deeper, eventually the elbows might land. Maybe you lift the knee up, the back knee up, whether the hands or the elbows are down. Right? We don't want it to look exactly the same as the other side. We want to feel what's going on here and work with it. So if you want to play with the arm balance or the binds, do that. Perfect. Breathing, breathing, breathing. Another breath or two. You get complete here. There's no rush. No rush. When you're ready, hands back to the floor, lift the back knee, step the left foot back, and you can go through those push-ups in the back bend, or go straight to a downward facing dog. Yogi's choice. All the way back, downward facing dog. We'll meet there, just one breath. Full breath in. Complete breath out. Now empty, we'll look forward. We're going to step the knees, one knee and then the other down towards the top of the mat, and come right up to standing on the knees. Perfect. So knees, hips width. I like to tuck my toes under behind me. You don't have to. The top of the feet can be down. Hands can be on the hips, thumbs and sacrum, or you can bring the hands to your lower back, fingers down, or even fingers up if you want to stretch the forearms a bit more. Right? Wherever you're at. Right? We start with the plug of the tail and a lift of the front body. Inhale, roll the shoulders, lift up, maybe look up, and as you exhale, pushing the hips forward, we start to lean back. Right? And we're breathing. You might not go very far, and that's fine. The chin can stay in throughout, the hands can stay on the hips the whole time. Just find a shape that you can stay in. Right? That you don't have to run from. And if you do need to come out, of course, come out, but then maybe come back in not quite as deep. Because we want to stay. Breathe. Right? You can test the head, the neck, can go back, no. Okay, maybe the hands come down to the heels. Right? You go to your depth. Right? You don't wait for anybody to give you permission to go on your journey. Right? Whatever it needs to look like. And we'll say, how about 5 more breaths? So enough time to come out and come back in, or come back in if you came out. Keep breathing. There you go. You got it. 3 more breaths. Right? And if you need to be told to go a little bit deeper, that's what I'm doing now. Go deeper. How about 1 more breath here? Full breath in. Complete breath out. And then wait for your, you can stay longer, wait for your inhale. When you're ready, come all the way back up. Releasing the hands, bring the knees together, sit back on the heels. And just land. Whatever it is, let it be heard. Let it be felt. Right? You've been silencing it, running from it, dismissing it, or disguising it. Let it be what it needs to be. There's great lessons, great guidance. That can be found in our depth. You gotta get quiet enough to hear. From here, we're going to twist. So just as you are, we're simply going to take our hips over to the left and our feet over to the right. Then we're going to step this right leg up and over the left and plant it outside the left knee. If you need to extend and straighten this left leg forward, do that. Otherwise, just release that left heel enough that you can get your right seat back down. Right big toe mound planted, right seat planted, hug the knee in. Right? Both arms wrap around that right knee and sit up a little bit taller. Inhale, lift. Now as we exhale, we start to turn to the right. You don't have to go far. Right? And if the way is clear, you go. Eventually, the right hand is released behind you. Keep this right knee, hugged in. Inhale, lift. Press the right seat down. Exhale, turn. And keep breathing. Inhale, lift. Exhale and turn. And just keep doing that. At least 5 breaths here. Right? Any arm variations, if you have the bind in your practice, great. You can use the back of the left arm if you like, outside the knee. Right? Or even catch the right big toe with the left hand. Otherwise, just keep the knee hugged in. Inhale, lift. Exhale, twist. Using that right shoulder blade to turn you a little bit deeper, maybe. Couple more breaths. Full breath in. Complete breath out. One more. Exhale. And you can keep going. Or, next inhale to bring you back to center. And we'll just switch sides. So take this right leg back where you got it from. Come back through center. Sit back on the heels for a moment, knees together. And then take the hips to the right, the feet over to the left. Step the left leg up and over outside the right knee. And of course, as always, you can extend the right leg straight or keep it tucked, but release the foot enough to get the left seat down. Hug the knee in. Exact same speech I gave you on the other side, right? So you're welcome to just go. Inhale, find the lift, left seat down. Exhale, turning to the left. If it's available, the left hand lands behind us. Not as a kickstand, just as a guide to help lift us even higher. Exhale, turn even deeper. Right? Keep going, keep breathing. Inhale to length and lift. Exhale to twist. Exhale. Keep the chest lifted, the shoulders rolled. Use that left shoulder blade into the back of the body. Keep turning. Keep breathing. Some of you froze there. I think I might have frozen for a moment. If you do lose me, just keep twisting. Keep breathing, keep twisting. All right, a few more breaths here. Great. When you're ready, we're going to use an inhale to come back to center. And this time, we're going to take the hands in behind us and just extend the legs out straight. Maybe keep the feet wide and take a chance to just lean back into the hands. Maybe rock the legs a little bit or shift the hips, move the feet. Yeah, whatever you need. And then just let that go. Right? Drop the weight into the hands, into the feet. Let the heels be heavy. There's this great poem by Mirabai. It talks about how they met a great yogi who told them to get so quiet that they could hear the blood in their veins. See if you can get that quiet. Bring your legs back together. And then bend your knees enough to bring your feet to the floor. Right? And then what we'll do, finding that sweet spot in our feet, staying leaning back through the spine, the shoulders, maybe catch behind the thighs. Right? So feet together, knees together. We've leaned back, we've lifted the chest, we've rolled the shoulders. This might be enough core work for you right here. Maybe you float the feet. Right? Find that spot again, roll the shoulders, lift the chest, maybe lift the feet higher. You can keep the hands on the legs, or maybe you reach them forward as well. Right? You might be ready to straighten the legs out, maybe not. Take a couple breaths here. Work to lift, and then work to stay. One more breath here, full breath in. Complete breath out. Inhale, lift as high as you're going to get. We're going to go from high to low. So stay lifted, but lengthen. Hover the legs and the spine and the shoulders. You can stay here. Obviously, you can let it all go. Or maybe you want to lift back up. And you can do that a few times. You can lengthen and lower, and then lift back up. Right, there you go. You can do it a few more times. I'm good. I'm going to do one more, and then I'm good. You can keep going. I'm going to hover for a few moments. And then when I'm ready, I'm just going to let it all go like this. A few moments right here. Release. This little Shavasana preview. Right? And if you want to stay, if you want a 25-minute Shavasana, you stay. Otherwise, maybe you carefully bend the knees again, draw them into the chest, give yourself a little hug, a little squeeze, a little rock, a little roll. Great. We'll play with one more back bend here. Right? We'll use a little bit of movement to work our way into it. So we'll plant the feet to the floor, heels as close to the seat as we can get them. Okay? Head straight at all times, arms beside us. We're going to do a few different pulses. So first we're going to exhale completely here. And then wait for the inhale to lift the hips up. Inhale and push into the feet, lift the hips, chest to chin, chin away from chest. And as you exhale, roll the spine all the way back down. We should do that twice more. Inhale to peel yourself up, lifting the hips. Okay? And as you exhale, roll the spine back down to the floor. Perfect. One more time like that with your breath. Full inhale, as high as you're going to get. Complete exhale all the way back down. Now we're going to do the same thing with the hips. We're going to add the arms in. So this time as you inhale and lift the hips up, reach the arms towards the ceiling and then overhead towards the floor. Lift high, hands land. And as you exhale, release the arms and the hips back down to the floor. Feet lands, arms land beside you. Do that twice more. Inhale, hips and arms. Lift the hips, reach the arms overhead for the floor. Wait for your exhale and release it all the way back. Perfect. And do that one more time. Inhale, peel up. Exhale, release all the way back down. Now, if either of those pulses were healing or revealing or the medicine you need, you keep doing that. Otherwise, we're going to lift up into a back bend and stay. If you're ready, right, we did a lot in the shoulders, this should be open. If you're ready to plant the hands by the ears and lift all the way up, Urdhva Dhanurasana, you go. You go and you stay. Otherwise, keep the shoulders down and push into the feet and lift the hips up and keep them up. Right? So Setu Bandhasana, this low bridge. If that's where you are, the hips are lifting, the legs are strong, chest is moving to chin, chin is moving away from chest. We're working the shoulders deeper underneath us. Right? Maybe lacing the fingers together. Yeah, and if you lift it all the way up, if you feel planted and strong here, you stay. Nothing wrong with staying in this shape for 10, 15 breaths. Okay? And anytime you want to fire it up and lift up the rest of the way, you do that. Anytime you need to back off a little bit, you do that. There you go, Suze. Any leg variations while you're up are always welcome. You're breathing Keep me there. Good job, Jada. How about 5 more breaths? At least 5 more. Lifted, strong, breathing, focused. Take it out of your jaw, out of your brow, into your chest, into your heart. Take all that energy there. 3 more breaths. Right? Come back in if you can. Really lifted, really long, really strong. When you're ready, take another breath. And when you've done that, release. Coming all the way back down. Try not to run from it. As you land, just slide the feet a couple inches away from you, a little bit wider. Drop the knees to touch each other. Make a little tent out of the legs to really land the lower back. When we can get that, when we can get the lower back supported and the back of the head, the occiput, also supported, really solid, we're cradling the nervous system. And we can really relax here. Surrender and release. And drop a little bit deeper maybe. And if from here you need to wipe the knees from side to side, maybe that's appropriate. Maybe you want to hug the knees back in right away, you can do that too. Okay. And you take your time, but when you're ready, come back to center and again, hug the knees in. Okay, this has become a bit of a favorite of Cecily and mine. All right, give yourself a squeeze, maybe grab the back of the thighs and just rock back and forth. So up onto your seat and then back onto your shoulders, rocking back and forth. Maybe as you rock forward, the feet come down, you rock back, the hips lift up, right? However big you want to make this, maybe even as you rock forward and bring the feet down, you lift the seat off the floor and then roll back, maybe even come all the way up to standing. Next time, nice, thank you, Seth. And then squat back down and roll back. You can play with this real big or real small. Next time you roll up onto your seat, just extend your legs forward, right? So sitting down, up on your seat, extend your legs straight out in front of you, right? Whatever little wiggles you need to do to get some of that stuff out from underneath you. You can sit up on blocks or cushions. Maybe use the hands beside you for a moment to get the lift and the length through the spine. Strengthen the legs, big toe mounds pressing away. Inhale, lift. Exhale, start to walk the hands forward and fold. Stay active for maybe 5 breaths. And that might mean you grab the calves or the ankles or just the top of the toes and you're not very deep into the fold. Do that, but keep the legs strong and the spine long and breathe. Right? And if there's depth and you can maintain all that engagement, then you go. But just take maybe 3 or 4 more breaths, really working yourself into this forward fold, right? And I like this idea of maybe ratcheting yourself forward. And Burns, he said this last week, somebody did. Pressing the toe mounds away, right, to pull you deeper into this fold, and then stay deep in this fold and just draw the toes back towards you, press the heels away. Maybe do that a few times. Pressing the toe mounds away from you, so pointing, right? Flexing and pointing at the same time, press the toe mounds away, draw you deeper, and then keep that depth, draw the toes back towards you, heels away. And that way you might work deeper into this fold. There you go. Keep breathing. Keep breathing. Paschimottanasana. Intense Western stretch. We're stretching the back of the body. From the heels, up the back of the legs, up through the back of the spine, right up to the back of the head. Keep breathing. Now you can stay with a more active forward fold if you want to release it. And maybe bend the knees a lot and just sort of flop forward for another 5 to 10 breaths. You can do that. Great. I love seeing you guys with your props, official or improvised, straps or scarves or even blankets here to draw you deeper around the toes. Richard, you could probably straighten your legs out and lift your chest and use that strap, right? Work to open the back of your legs a little bit. Lift the waist, lift the ribs off the hips. Right? It's that same shape as the half forward fold. It's the same shape as a downward facing dog. We've just flipped it around a couple times. Whatever depth you find yourself at, keep aiming deeper. Say 5 more breaths. Keep your awareness in your body. If any corner of it goes dull, just bring your awareness back. Re-engage. Sometimes you need to back out to go deeper again. Keep breathing. And you can stay longer. I invoked the name Ramaswamy earlier. He's a wonderful yoga teacher, so much more than a yoga teacher. A bit of a saint, that man. But he likes to get us to close our practice with like a 10-minute forward fold. It can be really powerful. So maybe you stay. We'll call that 5 minutes. By all means, stay another 5. When you're ready, we're going to work our way out nice and easy. And maybe a counter pose is needed. Come upright again. Take the hands behind you. Fingers point towards your seat. You can keep the legs extended or bend the legs. The feet are on the floor. Just going to lift the front body again. Exhale completely here. And then use an inhale to lift up. Open the hip flexors up. Lift the hips higher. Legs can be bent or straight. Stay for a breath maybe. Lift as high as you're going to get. Inhale. And then exhale when you're ready. Release nice and easy all the way back down. Perfect. And then from here, we're going to roll through onto our spine. Rolling all the way back down. Land again, draw the knees in towards the chest. And as we move towards Shavasana, right, what do you need? Do you want to take your legs up in the air? You can put them up the wall. Maybe it's a shoulder stand. Do you have time for an efficient shoulder stand cycle? And what else do you need? A quick bathroom break before Shavasana. Happy baby. Another twist. Knowing that we're moving towards Shavasana, you might be ready for it already. So by all means, if it's time, just lie flat on your back. Don't rush your Shavasana or your shoulder stand cycle. Get complete. Maybe spend some time with the legs overhead in Halasana or plow. And then when you're done with all that, a counter pose to open the chest and the throat. And join us when you're ready. Shavasana might look like legs up the wall, that's cool. When you do land on your back, make sure you feel supported. Something low and comfortable under the head, maybe something behind the knees. Feet wide, arms out wide, palms up, toes fall away from center. kind of pattern that you've created, right? The work you've done, the peaceful power, the powerful peace that you're now embodying is exactly what you need to drop all the way deep. To set all armor aside. To release and relax and surrender. Let the legs melt, the arms melt, hips and shoulders heavy. Let gravity take the spine. Right up to the head. Release the head, the neck and the head soften. Let the brain relax. Let the energy in the eyes travel back deeper into the skull. Release the jaw. And release the breath. Relax. Keep letting go. There's that last little bit where you're protecting yourself. You're safe here. Even if fear arises or anxiety or stress, they're just guides. They're here to help. Keep dropping deeper. And relax.
No rush. Welcome, even encourage to stay longer if that serves you. If and when you're ready to come back, deepen a breath, and then another. Slowly, purposefully wake the body up. Fingers, toes, wrists, ankles. Wiggle, then roll. Stretch the limbs, the legs, maybe the arms overhead. Stretch, reach. Let that go. Maybe you draw the knees in carefully to roll to the side, maybe the right. A few moments there, curled in. When you're ready, spin all the way back up to a seat. Do the things, grounded, the balanced, the centered. Be energized but relaxed. Engaged but calm. Babysitting the breath. Trusting it at this point. So relaxing around it a little. And just a couple minutes here. Connected to the effects of your effort. The depth of your awareness. Don't run from the messaging. Turn to it. Our teacher Eddie likes to tell us to chase the pain. Not to fight it, not to go to battle with it, but to understand it, to listen to it, to let it guide us. Same with our fear. It's natural. We're hardwired for it. Befriend it. Embrace it. So that we can leave behind all the structures we've built to insulate us from being alive, being present, being free. And again, I encourage you to stay just like this as long as you need. And even as you get up and go about your day, you can stay like this. These depths, these heights. Honoring what is. Moving mindfully, powerfully, peacefully. Let's not limit this to 90 minutes on Sunday morning. If you're inclined, hands together again, thumbs to the heart. Lift the chest, drop the chin. A few moments of gratitude. Maybe adding in gratitude for the guidance from our fear. The powerful thing to befriend that. Grateful for that opportunity. Me, as always, I'm grateful for you and your efforts. I'm grateful for Cecily and her presence, her practice. So until next time, thank you.